Welcome back, class, to another live stream of Animation Collab, where I experiment with new techniques in my animation laboratory in collaboration with other content creators. My name is Sonja and I'm a motion designer, and if you haven't picked up on it, haven't watched the streams, are new here, or missed any of the past streams, I'm currently collaborating with Andy from Attack, Detect, Defend. I think I got his channel name right this time. He's a cybersecurity expert and he creates videos on how to protect yourself against hacking attacks for his YouTube channel, and we've come together for a merger, for a collaboration, where I animate one of his upcoming videos about the MITRE attack framework. And yeah, if you've missed any of the past streams and you'd like to catch up on what we've done so far, you can catch all of the replays on my YouTube channel and also on my Twitch highlights. And yeah, it's been quite a project. It's been going on for quite a few weeks. It's a very long project because it's around 8-minute long video. At least the voiceover is 8 minutes long. So there's quite a bit of animation. I've tried to keep the animation as simple as possible, but as interesting as possible. So trying to find that middle ground between making it manageable and also making it enjoyable for the viewer. And we've gone through the whole process from beginning, now not at the end yet, but to the animation process. So I've done like a creative briefing as I would with a client, and we've done that together with Andy. You can watch that video on the YouTube channel as well, it's available. And then I've gone through the whole storyboarding process, how I set up a storyboard, how I export that storyboard and show it to the client. Then we had a little review process with Andy, and then I started on setting up some of the scenes to make them ready for animation in After Effects. We've done a few sessions of animation, and now I have to go back and set up a few more scenes so we can animate them again. So today is going to be a prep, setting up kind of video, because I take the scenes from the storyboard file and I bring them over to the, to a scene file, I would say, in Illustrator, and then it will be imported into After Effects, and it has to be set up a certain way before it can really get imported in After Effects for it to work properly, because I usually work with the link system. So if you import layers from Illustrator, yes, I wasn't sure which app I was talking about then. If you're working with a link system, you need each of your objects that you want to be separate from the rest of your objects or assets or graphics or shapes. You need them to be on a separate layer in Illustrator. Otherwise, After Effects will read it as one block, and it will only be one editable layer rather than multiple layers. So you need to set that up in After Effects, and damn it, there you go. There I said it wrong. You have to set that up in Illustrator and then move over to After Effects. If that's your way of working, there's other ways of working, like using shapes. There are tools to import shapes from Illustrator to After Effects. You can also create shapes or designs or animations directly in After Effects. So it's not the only method of working. So if you were unaware of this, don't worry. It's a learning process. But this is my way of working, and this is the way of working for a lot of explainer video or vector style, flat graphic vector style animations. So that's the way I work. Sometimes I combine shape animation with linked Illustrator file, vector file animation. So some of the layers will be linked to my Illustrator file, and some of the layers I will convert into shapes, and then they will no longer be tethered to the Illustrator file, but they live solely in After Effects. So usually I use a mixture of both. My scenes are usually too complex to use only shape animation or shape layers, so that gets very heavy very quickly, so I try to avoid that. But where necessary, where for example, I want the lines to always be the same, in those cases I use shape, or I use them as shapes rather than as linked Illustrator files. Okay, let's jump in, and if you have any questions while I'm working, please feel free to drop them in the chat or in the comments later if you're watching this as a replay. I'm happy to answer all of your animation, After Effects, and motion design questions. That's why I'm making this live stream, so that you can come along on the journey, ask questions along the way, and we can kind of have a chill animation Q&A process video session together. Okay, so here we are. This is my let me just adjust my microphone. It's a little far. Okay. All right, so this is the animation, and we are currently at scene 4, which means the next scene will be scene 5. Hello, Mr. M, welcome. So let's jump into the storyboard, and I've already had a bit of a think of how I'm going to set this up. So let's grab the files. I'm going to close this down for a second. So what I need, I think I should already have everything in this file, perhaps. So I'll need to bring the layers back. Yes, so I do have everything in here, it's just hidden away. So that's essentially the entire group that I need that will represent this entire scene. If you can see that correctly, you should be able to see that correctly. If something doesn't work at any point, or if I'm frozen or anything like that, do let me know. Okay, so I have my file ready, and first I'm just gonna drop it directly, and I'm going to paste it in place, and now I'm going to take it apart. So I have a clipping group here. I definitely need to open that clipping group, so I'll just do that. Release clipping group, but I will use this shape as a mask later on. So I will, yeah, I'll just leave it exactly like this, and then above that I have the frame, so to speak, and I can release this group as well. And I just need to figure out what these lines are doing. I also, one other thing that I don't like is that these lines are so thin. I think we kept all of the lines in the animation the same all across. So I think I would like, oh, that we are using this like thin line sometimes. So I guess we can do that. Yeah, I might have to rethink my line. Also, I hope the line of this is the same as the one when it's smaller. It appears that way. I really hope that's the case, because I want the lines to appear the same. Also, I don't know if this is the same or not. But it appears, yeah, this seems to be the same thickness at least. But this, so I have like a thick line and I have a thin line, which is okay, I guess. And I think these thin lines are the same width. I think the reason I didn't make them thicker is because this was kind of, it was kind of tiny, and having a thick line would really make it very bulky. I think that's why I went with that. Also, now thinking about this or looking at this, I'm thinking this should probably be larger because it has so much space here, but that's something we can get back to when I'm doing the more detailed edits. Okay, so for now, I'm just gonna leave the thickness of these lines. I will, however, have to take off this round 3-point and make it a regular line because I do want to bring it in and use a trim path on it. So I need to bring that back and just make everything rounded. And this one, I don't think I need to change anything about this. So I wonder where... It's a 1-point stroke, but it's clearly not a 1-point stroke, so I wonder where the look of this is coming from. Okay, it's a 10-point stroke on the outside of the group. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. So these are fine. I hope that there is... Yeah, okay, there's that blue. I don't think we're gonna see that, so that's probably fine. Okay, and one other thing is I don't like this double blue look. So what I want to do is I want to open storyboard 2 because we are using this all blue character again. Okay, it's like this guy. Okay, so the body is the blue color, but the hat is the dark color. So we're gonna go with that. And I hate that this is like right on top. Why is this a compound shape? They're just too... Okay, I'm just going to remove this compound shape. I don't know what's going on with that. Compound path. I can't release it. Okay, I'm just going to release it out of the group then. No, can't do that either. Okay, just drag it out then. Okay. Then I should have... Yep, this guy. Cool. And then I can just touch this. I wasn't able to touch it before, so I don't know. Okay, and I will check if this is actually the same color, because I think it's not. This is that color, and this is the darker one. So I actually want these to be the lighter ones, and these black ones can have the white hat on, I guess. I don't think... Yeah. I think that's fine. I don't think we are using any other dude. We are using this Andy character, and he has a blue hat, so I think it's fine if we use these guys and they have the black hat. And which color is he? Is he the darkest of the blues? Yes. Okay, cool. That's fine. But also, I don't need to have multiples of these set up. What I can do is I'll just have one of these set up, bring it out, and then I'll just take him apart, and then I can duplicate it. I can use create a pre-comp, and I can just duplicate him, and then I can also actually color him in however I need it. So I'll do it that way. And then I just need to take these lines out of this group. And this becomes a reference, and these three. And now that I've split everything up the way I want it to be split up, I can highlight the circle. I'm never sure if I do have to highlight the circle or not. I'll highlight the layer for now, and I'll go to this hamburger icon. Such a weird name. Okay, it's too far out. I wonder if, you know what, I'll just pin this here just so you can see this drop down menu. And I can go to release to layers sequence. not build, sequence. And then every single object that was separate from the group will get its own layer, and that's a top level layer. But for it to be actually a top level layer, it needs to be not inside of a layer. So right now it's I think it's called a sublayer. A sublayer. You can't see that, it's just off screen, but it says sublayer. So if I drag it out of this layer, and I can then also delete that layer, I now have all of these as top level layers, and that's great. And I'll just name these documents. This is doc1, and I can also copy paste names. And in Illustrator, it's not the enter button that renames layers. In After Effects, you can hit enter to rename a layer. In Illustrator, you have to double click. Again, why can't we have the same shortcuts, Adobe? Is there an effective solution when you have a line and it comes out as a fill in AE, but you want to use trim path? Yes, well, it's kind of, you have to go back to your Illustrator file and make sure that it's a simple stroke. So, for example, this layer right now, it has a stroke on it, and I'll go into the zoom so you can see this a little bit better. So this has a stroke on it, this file, as you can see, stroke 1 point, but it has a brush definition of 3 points. And that actually will not work as a stroke in After Effects. That will create a fill like you just described. So it will create a double stroke path with a fill inside instead of a stroke. So what you need to do is you need to remove all special effects from the stroke, like I did for this one, because I didn't do it for this one, I did it for these guys. Like I did for these lines here, they need to be simple strokes with a basic brush, uniform, everything has to be plain. You can only set up a stroke thickness, and that way they will get imported as strokes in After Effects. Otherwise, you will come across problems. Yeah. Hello, amazing 24. Did I say that right? Your unfortunately the Twitch usernames are in light purple, and my Restream chat is in dark purple, so it's really hard to read. Yeah, welcome. I hope you'll enjoy today's stream. We're doing a little bit of Illustrator setup. So, I hope that was clear, Mr. M. Basically, if you want strokes to appear as strokes in After Effects, they have to be simple lines in Illustrator. They can't have any flourishes. They have to be completely basic. And only then do they actually come in as strokes in After Effects. And then you can add, like, you know, like taper and a wave and all of that stuff. But at first they have to be plain, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, so we've got the lines, but why are the lines on top? I thought I put the lines above. Okay, it doesn't matter. So we've got one dude who's alone. Why is this guy alone outside? Go back to your group, dude. Right, and also one thing that might not be clear between the difference of layers, sublayers, and groups and paths, I'll tell you the hierarchy. So you can have a top layer, and inside of that layer you can have a sublayer, and in a top layer and a sublayer you can have groups and paths. So you can group different paths. What you cannot do is put a layer or a sublayer inside of a group. A group only holds paths. So that's kind of the hierarchy of Illustrator layers to path. So path is like the lowest, it's the lowest child, and a regular layer is the highest parent. So that's how the layer hierarchy in Illustrator works. And I'm gonna save that little clip because I think that would be a very nice little short that I can produce for YouTube. So I made myself this drink, and I decided to use an old lime that has been in the fridge for some time. And I have to say, it has a kick to it. I didn't want to throw it away, but it's like, that lime is, it's not the freshest lime. Alright. Okay, so now, after you've split everything up, the most important thing is to name stuff. And I have a very neat trick of naming things. I have a little script. I found the script on an Adobe forum. That Adobe forum has since been deleted by Adobe because they've done like a remodel of the Adobe forum community. So, unfortunately, yeah, I can't give credit to the person who created that script because I don't know who they are and the forum is gone. But if the techniques I'm about to show you, if you like it, you can find that script on my website in my asset directory. You just need to subscribe to my mailing list and then you'll get access to the asset directory and then you can have a look at that script. And I will at some point also create a little tutorial on how to set up the script with Illustrator. But basically, the way the script works, if you don't have it set up with a keyboard shortcut, but I do have it set up as a keyboard shortcut, all you need to do is go to scripts. You can either put it in, it's called, this is it, rename layers. You can plug it into the scripts folder of Illustrator, and then it shows up in the main scripts, or you can just go to other scripts and then you call it and then it works. But it works way better with a keyboard shortcut like this. And actually, before I do that, I need to highlight the things I actually want to name, or rather, I need to hide the things that I don't want it to name. And okay, this is separate, that's good. All right. And I also want to check which order this is going to be named in. Okay, good. All right, so I can call my rename visible layers, and as the name suggests, it renames only the visible layers. That's why I've turned off all the other layers. And I like to name things from the bottom to the top, usually. Oh, I need to rename the document to 3. So I tend to set it to reverse layer order, otherwise it renames it from the top to the bottom. And then I give it a name, like this is line, and then it just gives it a serial number, and the length means there's a 0 in front of it, or multiple zeros. And then I just hit, sometimes I also put like an underline, so the 0, the numbering is like separate from the name. I don't know, I go back and forth on that. I'm not tied to any of those. And before I forget, let's rename this to 3, and now I have line 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, that's it, that's the last one. And that's how that rename thing works. And if I have a layer that purely acts as a reference, what I tend to do is call it ref group. But actually, as I was writing that, I changed my mind, and I do want them to be separate because I will be able to place these the composition much easier when I can use control and drag, and it can just snap to the position of these. So I'm not gonna import it as one giant layer because then I can't access the single graphics, but I can just keep it as the little people group. So each little guy will be separate. So we'll do the same thing with the sequence. And I'll drag it out of here, and then I can remove the ref group. And then I'll just rename them. And this is going to be... Why is this guy off? Is he supposed to be off? No, he was not supposed to be off. Okay. So, let's call the renamed layer, and I will call it ref for reference. And these are supposed to be employees. Employee. Yeah, I think I do like the underscore more than without the underscore. So let's rename this again. This is a super easy way to rename something that you've already named, for example. And you don't have to go into each layer and rename it manually. It's really nice. Doc. And this one I do want from top to bottom. So like that. And now this is the little employee guy. So employee body. And this is the eye. Oh, what? I thought I had copied this. Copy. Eye. You can call, that's actually the pupil, not the iris, but I tend to call it iris because pupil in my head means student, like a high school student. That's a pupil to me. So calling this a pupil always feels weird, so I always go for the word iris instead. Okay, and then we have, I think this is the mask, and I think I'm gonna take it out of this weird compound shape because I don't know what's going on with that. And it needs a fill, which it apparently doesn't have. So this is the mask. And these are separate. They're not supposed to be separate. Oh, right. I actually have to merge these. Okay. That's why I had them in this weird, like, compound shape thing. It's okay. I can just merge them instead. Let's merge. Actually, I can just... yeah, do that. And then they're back in this weird compound shape, but at least now they are, you know? And this is binoculars. Binoculars. That's how you spell binoculars, right? I don't know. And if you have a bunch of layers and you want to turn them all on, you can do one of two things. You can either click and drag, or you can hit Alt and turn them all on and off. And if you hit Control and click, then you enter like an outline stage of that. Yeah, it's more visible here, see? So I can see the outlines of this, but I don't see the fill and the stroke. So that's another little trick. And now I'm going to save it, and this is going to be 050. Let's find a name for this. Let's see if we have something. Okay. Let's close that, and let's see in the storyboard. I like to... okay, it's the reconnaissance. Oh god, now I'm gonna have to remember how to spell reconnaissance. Ah! Reconnaissance? I already forgot. Okay, it's gonna have to be recon. I don't remember. Let's go to the folder where I want to save it. This one. Yes. You might have noticed that there's a number missing. There was a scene 03 in my Illustrator layers, and now this is scene 05. That's because scene 04 is a template. It's a template composition that I'm using here and here. I'm using it multiple times. So it's actually the same composition, but it appears multiple times. So that's why it replaces number 4. So it doesn't have its own separate scene Illustrator file. Okay, so yeah, sure. Okay, so now we have that, and now we can animate that. Let's bring it in. So what I do, I have a folder for my scenes, and I can hit Control I to open that location. It always opens the last location you are in, so that's a little bit annoying. Sometimes it's useful if you know, working in the same on the same project and you have to open multiple things, but sometimes it's annoying because you have to keep navigating to somewhere else most of the time. Then I want composition, retain layer sizes. Now it's imported it, and I'll immediately create a duplicate of that because I want to keep the original and work with a duplicate of it. And the layers go here and the comps go here, and then I can close my assets again, and I will change the color to orange because orange is my main comp color and blue is my subcomp color. That's just chosen completely randomly, but I do like to see what type of composition I'm working on, and this dark green, for example, I use that for template compositions, and the sea foam, no, it's like sandstone, I think that's the color of the Mitra Attack main comp. I usually only use it for the main. Okay, so one other thing that I didn't pay attention to when I imported this is to set this to 25 frames per second. And also, since I'm here, I will change my duration or my start time code to 59 minutes and my duration to at least 1 minute so that I have my leeway that I usually have. And then I need to go to the end of the comp. Is this something? Oh. My water was making like little ticking noises. I'm like, what is that ticking sound? Okay, so first I want to go to 1 hour and I want to cut everything. Trim, I should say trim, not cut. And I want to put a marker here to denominate the beginning of that comp. All of my reference layers will become that. They will become guide layers. And I usually also turn the group color to none. They become this gray color. I can also just drag them down here. So I'll just push them to the bottom. Then the documents can be something like blue. Okay, that was purple. Blue. The lines need to be changed. So I can either push these lines with Overlord over to After Effects, or I can, in After Effects, after I've imported them, I can just go to, let me see if I can scroll up a little bit further so you can actually see this drop-down menu. I can go to create and create shapes from vector layer. So then it creates these shapes, and my shapes are always brown. And since we don't have any other shapes in this scene, I can just keep them. Sometimes I keep them as reference, as guide layers in the composition, but sometimes I delete them. And I think in this case, I'm just going to delete them. Then we have the employee. And this guy is... yeah, I'll make this guy blue and I will pre-comp this. And he's going to be 050A employee. But before... no, that's fine. That's fine. And is this guy in the same position? Yes, good. So I'm going to go in here and I'm also going to trim this composition so it's only the size of this character, and I'll give it a little bit of space, like this maybe. And then I can go to composition, crop, comp to region of interest, and then I like to go in and I just make these numbers nice and round, just cause. No particular reason. What I could also do is put this in the ultimate center, and the easiest way to do that is open motion 3, get a null object with everything highlighted, because then this null object puts it in the center of all of the layers that it's being parented to. No, they are being parented to the controller. And then I can go, what is it? Control Alt Shift Home? Control Shift Home? I don't remember. But I guess it already is in the center. No, it was not in the center. But I don't believe that's where it just put it. I don't think that's the center. That's odd though, right? It should think that... Is it Control Home? Oh, it is Control Home. Okay, so Control Home puts the layer, resets the position of the layer to the center. But I don't think that is the center. So what is our comp? It's like 80. It can definitely be at 80. But I want this to be like... So you crop the region of interest in the case that I used it in. So if you have a huge composition, let me just save this and then I can undo what I did. So I just pre-comped this character, yeah? So let me just undo that to show you in more detail. So I had these layers, and this is a 16:9 composition. And if you pre-comp a bunch of layers within a composition, it automatically makes the pre-comp the same size as its parent composition. So if I now go forward and it's now cropped it, it's now pre-comped it, when I go in here, this composition is huge, but I only need it to be as big as these layers. So okay, I clicked somewhere else. I don't think I can redo what I did, so I'll just have to do it again. So in that case, to make this comp smaller, you can either go into the comp settings or Control K comp settings and just make it smaller via the numbers here, or you can use region of interest. So I can just drag where I want this composition to be, and then I can go to composition, crop, comp to region of interest, and then it will make the composition the size of the region of interest that I have drawn out for myself. So that's what region of interest is used for. And now let's put it in the center, but actually a little bit higher. I want it to be approximately in the center of this. Or actually, you know what? Do I? Yeah, I probably do. Okay, so this is, let's put this at 80 as well. 80 is not the center. Okay, that's probably fine. I'm gonna delete this controller because I don't actually need it. And now I have an enormous amount of comps here. So I'm just going to close them. Actually, I'm going to save and I'm going to close them. Control W to close comps quickly. And this shortcut also works in Illustrator for Illustrator projects. I don't need that one. I do need this one. Okay, these are the two that I need. So now we have a mask here, and I like to make my masks brown. So in that case, I'll probably just color these in a different color, like purple. And this is going to be blue. I think I already have a blue. Okay, let's choose different colors for these. I don't know. Green? No. Actually, I want it to be blue though. I can make it cyan. Okay. So the reason I want this to be blue is because I want my pre-comps to be blue. So that's the only reason for that. And binoculars and the mask and the binoculars need to be linked. So I'm gonna link them to a controller. Binoculars. I have a feeling that's not how you spell binoculars, but okay. Whatevs. I'll just make this brown as well. Doesn't matter. So, now what I need is I need this one to have a set matte. Set matte. And I need this and this and all of these to be continuously rasterized so that the set matte works. And the matte that I want to use is the mask. And then, hopefully, if I move this, yay, you don't see it when it goes past. I know it's very busy right now. Let's set up the little dudes. So, now what I can do, I can animate this guy one time, and I can just duplicate him wherever I want him to be. That's probably about right. Actually, this is the first one. That's the second one. Oops. Okay. So this, let's let this be the second one, and then we duplicate this again, and then this is going to have to be a different one. This needs to be B employee, because these are the targets, or like the targeted employees. So I'm just going to call it targets. And this is going to be... Yeah, it's okay. I'll just drag it in here. I think I can just... I'll just copy one of these dudes. This one. Just copy this into the target area. So that I can use this color. So the hat, I'm just gonna add a fill to this so that I can pick this color, and then that is the same, and the body is different. It's gonna have a fill, and it's gonna be this color, yay, and now this guy can go. And now we have that color, yay. All right. So we're going to have another target, and that target is going to be down here. And as you can see, I'm using, so this snapping that is happening right now is because I'm holding control, and I can snap it to the center of a layer, to the top anchor point, to the corner anchor points, and all the different spots. So that's why I decided, even though these are all references, that's why I decided to save them out as layers so I can snap my pre-comps to them. Okay, so now we need another employee, and that's this one, then another, and that's this one, and then another, and that's this one, and then another, that's this one, and then then we have the target. So this one is above that. I do like to keep a bit of my layers organized, is what I meant to say. Okay. And now I need to figure out what we actually need to animate. So at first we don't see all of them, and then they kind of start popping up. So I need some sort of pop-up effect. So maybe we'll do a little pop-up. I have a preset for that. It's my... Oh, what happened to my presets? Why are there no presets here? Oh no, what happened? What did I do? Okay, so my presets have been deleted for some reason. That's okay, because I have a preset comp. Alright, that's weird. Animation presets. Okay, so I don't need this one. And this is 25. And we have a bounce pop-up, and if I highlight the whole property, it will, and copy it, it will copy the keyframes and the expression. And then I can go back to my recon. I can just paste it on here. And now I can also turn off my reference layers, and I can select label group by clicking on this little colored square, and it will highlight all of the layers with the same color, which is why I changed the label group color for all of the layers. One of the reasons. The other reason is just you can have a look at all of your layers and you know which ones belong to the same group. Okay, and now our first one pops up. And he's outside of our binoculars. I'll just move the binoculars up so we can actually see him. And also the lines need to have the same set mat. So let's copy this set mat and add it to all the lines as well. And now, okay, that's fine. It's not ideal, but what I can do is I can maybe rotate the guy. I should have really done this before duplicating all of these. But it's okay. Let's add a bit of rotation. I'll copy this same thing. Add it to the rotation. Oh, I can't, really? No, the scale can't be added to the rotation. Yeah, because the scale has 2 values. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So let's rotate this guy from like -20. The only downside is okay, I just want to make sure that this bounces nicely. I don't know if I like the bounce. I'll leave it for now. I don't know if I like it. But the next thing we need to do is animate. I'm just gonna lock this for now. Animate the lines. And I wanna throw a trim path on this. And I want it to animate from the center. So I need to start with 50-50. And then 0, 100. And that's going to be 75% ease. Whoa, that's really fast. What is this playing back as? Huh. What? Okay, maybe I'll just do an easy ease. I do want this to be... The problem is the slow part that we don't see happens behind this character. A lot of this is actually hidden, which is kind of annoying. And this is at 100 now. Maybe I'll just push it further. I do want it to animate all the way to the end, so... Okay, doesn't matter. So for now, I'm just going to animate in all of them. Actually, no, it has to be timed, so it doesn't really make sense to animate all of these into place. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate some interaction with the eye. Give this a control. And I want the same type of animation as from the Miter Attack framework with the little character. So it should be in here. Probably something like this. Oh, but that will be... Yeah, doesn't matter. I'll keep the blink. I'll copy the blink. Oh, that's the target. Okay. The eye needs to have a blink. And this needs to have a set mat. Set to the eye. And the distance between the keyframes is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like 5 frames. Okay. Here. And I think these are supposed to be easy ease or 75%. 75%. Okay. Okay, that's way too fast. Maybe 10. Let's try 10 frames. And can look down for a little bit longer. Then we can have another blink. And then eye movement can be like somewhere else. I don't want the blink to always be in the same moment, so that's why I'm making it a little bit random. And also the distance between looking doesn't need to be the same. And in between here can be another blink, or like and then we can just, let's say 10 seconds. I don't think this scene is even that long, but at this point it can have a loop if I need it to be longer. But 10 seconds is a really long time, so... So now they're all doing the same thing, but once I stagger them, they won't be looking at the same exact time. Also, there is a point to be made that I don't need this to be a separate layer. I could probably also use color replacement, so it can be the same comp. I'll see if I can. There's like color key, color emboss. No. Change to. It's either change color or change to color. Let me see if this is possible. Change color. Yeah, I can change it from this to that, but it doesn't. Okay. So it does work, but it then also does it for the eye, which is a little bit annoying. Okay. I won't use this one. What about the change color? That doesn't really... I don't know what that does. Yeah, so technically it would be possible, but the eye would then need to be a different color, or the body would need to be a different color. I guess I could make the eye the light color, and then maybe that would work. Let's see. So it would need to be this iris, would need to be the lighter blue, and see how it updates, and then change this color to that color. It's still taking the other color into account, so that's a little bit annoying. So I can't use this effect. But that's okay. I can just plop the same layers into copy. Should have really done that before, not after, but it's okay. I can put the fill on the body and the fill on the hat. And then we've got the same dude here with the same animation. Ugh. And for these, I think I basically just want a reveal. Let's see. It's just an easy ease reveal. And also they also need the set matte effect. Copy. V. Save. Well, sometimes the transparent background is useful. Sometimes it's annoying. But see, the characters are pretty dark, so on the black background is a bit annoying. I guess I could also change the color of the black to white. There you go, if that's less annoying for you. So, oh, wait, they also need to be continuously rasterized, otherwise that doesn't work. And they also need to move together, so I'm going to put a controller for the dogs and a controller for this whole set of lines and employees. They also need to move as one unit. So, control employees. And basically, first what happens is they are not in view. These binoculars, they come in from somewhere. I don't know what I've decided. They were supposed to come in, I think, from the bottom. As this disappears, they come in. So let's... 1, 2... Let's move this. Oh, hey, no, I do not want to make it larger. I want to move this out of the way, and then let's do an easy ease on that. And this is actually going to be in the center. So when this comes in, we see, and I think I want a little wiggle on this, and I have a wiggle controller here. I'm gonna paste this wiggle controller in here. And then I'm going to take this position wiggle, copy expression only, and put it... where am I? This one. Put it on this controller. And then it wiggles a little bit and I can control it with my controller. Why is it only wiggling side to side? Is it only wiggling side to side? So first, I don't want it to arrive here. I want it to arrive like here. And then it wiggles a little bit, and then Andy says something. This could be technical, such as domain names, IP addresses, or public-facing services. And at this point, I'd like the second dog to come in. And I'm gonna have to time this later, but I'm just going to go by ear for this, and copy V. And then the third document. And then we move to the side to see some of these employees. And as this moves out, this moves in. P. Oh, wait, should be here. Ah, stop telling me I should quit. That was my screensaver, my screen blocker, everyone. Always looking out for me. And always annoying me. So first, we don't see all of these employees, but we see some. And then I do wonder if I should have a common controller for the documents and the employees. Also, this is like super fast. And I think I actually want them to be in the center of the frame. So I'm gonna turn my shy layers on again, so because I only need to work with these 3 layers here. And I'm gonna make this move much slower. And then we probably have another repositioning of the binoculars. Something like that. So I think this one should actually be over here. And then let's just go 1, 2. And then this goes that way. And this goes that way. Oops. There we go. And then we have something like this. I mean, I still need to time it to the audio, but it's basically like blocked. Yeah, I think that's what you call it. In traditional animation, you block animation, so you make the big movements and then you add the details later. So that's essentially what I did. Okay, so right now it's just rendering first. Oh, should have probably ended that comp there. So as the binoculars are moving across the people, that's when the people would be appearing. And I think I also need a little bit of sequencing between the movements. So not everything is happening at the same time. And also, I think the keyframes are too short, but it's okay. We'll fix that when we work with the audio. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. Let me do a face for the thumbnail. Is that good? So now we can use that for the thumbnail. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. There wasn't a lot of chat in the chat, but I hope you still liked it and maybe even learned something, which is what we do here on the channel. So come back every Tuesday and Friday. We do another live stream of other animation or video editing. Next Friday, I'm going to edit a YouTube tutorial, a tutorial that I will be putting on YouTube. I keep calling them YouTube tutorials. They are motion graphics, motion design tutorials that I'm cutting together and then putting on YouTube. So you can watch me do that on Friday during work watching, which is my other streaming series. And we'll continue this animation next Tuesday during Animation Collab. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you like this type of content, come back, subscribe, ring the bell icon so you are notified when I go live again or when I post one of my tutorials. And if you'd like to support me monetarily, you can join the classroom on Patreon. You can also buy me a tea on Ko-fi.com and buymeacoffee.com. All the links are in the description. I'll see you soon. Bye!